This is Black Scott,
This is Love Jhade.
and we are He Said, She Said, a podcast tackling controversial and current topics concerning men, women,
And the roller coaster that is our relationships with one another. Today we got Valentine's Day theory. We got the talking phase of dating. Let's talk about it, y'all.
So Valentine's Day, honestly, I love it or hate it. I kind of hate it.
I am indifferent.
Indifferent.
That's me. I'm indifferent.
I would hate to say hate is such a strong word, but I just don't like it. I don't know how you feel about it, but I just feel like it's just a trap. All in all, guys or girls included. I'm not saying that because I'm a guy. I think just for both, it's a setup for failure.
So would you call that your theory?
Yeah. Maybe that'll be the title of this video.
Valentine's Day personal theory.
Personal theory, yeah. I don't know if there's anything like this on the internet already, so we're gonna go ahead and copy, trademark, whatever it is. Valentine's Day theory.
I think.
Producer, can you put that in the title, please? All right, thanks.
I think I'm indifferent to it. I think from my personal experience, it was never really a thing. I didn't really celebrate until I had like a serious relationship, when I was in college. And the first years of that relationship we were doing distance, so that was a no.
Right.
And then the third year, I don't remember what happened. But then the fourth year, we actually finally celebrated, but it was crazy because he had work and he stayed late at work because they kept him long. So I was kind of just waiting, and I was still cool, but it just really bothered him that he was late. And so it kind of just ruined our vibe for the night. So overall, it just was never really a thing that happened for me. And so because of that, I just feel indifferent, I guess,
Yeah. So it's not really anything you're looking forward to where it's like, oh, what that Justin LA post said. Shout out to Justin LA.
Oh, it was something
if he doesn't buy you flowers, he's a lame.
Yeah, it was something like why is he waiting till Valentine's Day to buy you flowers? We're paraphrasing, but it was something like that. He should be doing it every day, blah, blah, blah. I think I agree with that.
I was going to say that's actually the opposite of what we're talking about, only on the special day.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a lame. I wouldn't go to those extremes. I wouldn't say he needs to be doing this every day or whatever. But I do believe in the whole, you should be showing this person love year round. And say when it comes down to Valentine's Day, oh, someone has to work or something like that. It's okay because year round, they've been showing you that they love you, And I think that's men to women and women to men. You should show your partner you love them all year.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think when you set up such a high standard to anything, you're doomed for disappointment. And Valentine's Day is one of the most hype holidays. You got Christmas and all these other ones. I think Valentine's Day is up there with just most hype holidays. You got the commercials, stores, everybody's just converting to, oh, Valentine's Day, setting it up. And then it's your situation. Maybe there's work, maybe the man or woman, girlfriend, boyfriend gotta stay late. And I feel like you just put all this emotional weight on one day just for it to just not go right, just because life happens sometimes. It's we had one bad day, but that doesn't really compare to the rest of the 365 days that we have to be together and go out and stuff like that.
Yeah, true. I honestly, this is no research behind this, but in my mind, I just imagine that 70% of Valentine's Day is into disappointment.
Yeah, we could put that as official. That's an official stat somewhere. 70%, and this is men and women, not only just women. I think men and women 70%.
Yeah, and the reason why I think that is because there's so much expectation on this day. Whether you're married or whether you're single and dating or whether you have a consistent boyfriend, girlfriend, it's just so much pressure for one put on men. And then women have these expectations. And then you have your friends gassing it up and you have these movies and TV gassing it up. And it just can only breed disappointment. I mean, honestly, I feel that if you do celebrate Valentine's Day, you should kind of go with the flow dynamic.
And don't talk to your single friends about it because they'll just make it worse.
True. I think you should go with the flow dynamic in the sense of just go with what happens. If you do have someone special in your life, just see what they do. You know what I mean? Of course, you want to make sure you communicate in general, what you want and things like that. But I feel if they've been in your life for a while and they know you well, just go with the flow of what they do. And even if they don't know you well, even if you're new to dating this person, go with the flow, see what they do, and don't really have too many high expectations because it's if someone does something nice for you and they did that from their heart, why is that bad? Even if it's not per se what you want. Again, like, I think you should communicate what you want in relationships and things like that. But at the end of the day, like, why make someone feel bad when they did something for you that they
And I think that's
did
the
from
thing.
their heart?
I don't know if Valentine's Day is from the heart, pun intended, because like, again, the expectations, girls are being programmed, with TV, media, and friends and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, expect this. Guys are being programmed. Oh, get this. Go to Jared, flowers, chocolate, whatever commercial wants to sell you something. That's how they want to program you. So I feel like in a way, the woman's not having a pure expectation of what she actually wants.
Yeah.
It's more of a program expectation. So same thing with the men. It's like, look, man, if you don't get this flower, you're not getting no cheeks.
Yeah, Justin LA Boy lets y'all know that you ain't ish if you ain't getting flowers year round.
Lame.
By the way, we're not being sponsored by Jared, nor are they paying us. So
if you would want to for this upcoming episode or future,
not this one though.
Hit us up mhh@gmail.com. MHH Production Studios.
Anyway,
but yeah, I think it's really not as authentic as people lead to believe. I think what's authentic, like you said, a random Wednesday date or Friday date. Hey, let's go somewhere.
Yeah.
Or not even like, hey, let's go somewhere, but we just, like I said, go with the flow. Let's just hang out, kick it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go catch a movie real quick. Oh, let's go to the park and I'll hand pick you flowers out the field or something like that.
Yeah. What would you say was your like favorite or most memorable date
Memorable date. When I think about it, I think about the hangout, more of the just random kind of hangouts, like I mentioned earlier. Not like, oh, it's a date, because I'll tell you, I guess have an opposite answer to your question. The dates that didn't go the best were the ones that are just heavily planned. Oh, we got to be at this, at 3. We got a reservation this place. Gotcha. Okay, we can't stay too long here. Then we got to go move on to the next joint. Oh, then got dinner here, dessert here. Oh, we got to hurry up for the place close. So you just can't sit and enjoy each other trying to, get the itinerary, go down the itinerary list instead of like just spend time with each other. So
yeah, honestly, that's what happened on my most recent Valentine's Day experience I was talking about earlier. It was so planned. So I think that was partially what kind of ruined the mood when it didn't go right, because we planned it so well, if that makes sense.
Right.
I'll say my favorite date was, first of all, I love the movies. Going to the movies is one of my favorite things. Rest in peace to the movies. Like,
and the AMC stock is looking a little delicious.
Sad. Oh, delicious.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You know about the GameStop thing. That's a whole side thing. Yeah, but AMC was kind of going up. So
well, anyway, I would love for them to do better, because I want them to open back up when all this is over. I love the movies. It's one of my favorite things to do, period. So one of my most memorable dates would just be going to dinner and a movie at Universal City Walk. And for people who don't know what that is, it's like Universal Studios, Hollywood. You have like the theme park, and then you have Universal City Walk, which is kind of just a series of like restaurants and shops. It's kind of like a mall almost, outdoor, but there's like a lot of bright lights. There's a lot of things to do and
it's
buy.
Like the Disney in Orlando. You know how they have both Disneys? You have the Disney here in LA, or not LA,
they have Universal down there too, I think.
And then have the Disney World. It's Disneyland and Disney World.
They have Universal Orlando though as well.
Universal is, because I heard the Disney World, which is the Orlando one, I think is the bigger. Like,
it is bigger,
one.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole thing. Here is just
it's bigger.
The rides and things like that.
But yeah, so Universal is City Walk is kind of like the equivalent of like a downtown Disney then, in that sense. It's just like shops, bright lights, food, things to do. So we went there because we just wanted to do something that was kind of far away from home. Like, we were both living in LA, but not LA proper, like the city of LA. So it was kind of like you have to drive through LA, get to Hollywood. So it kind of made it like a experience. It was like we're exploring, we're going somewhere far away from home to kind of get out there. Everybody knows LA traffic. It's like an hour to get anywhere, an hour plus, depending on where you're going. So, we had like a nice little drive up there in traffic, but that made it exciting. And then when you get to Universal Studios / City Walk, it's like up on a hill. So you just get to see the lights of the city down below, and it's so beautiful. So that contributed to it. We went out to dinner, had a nice dinner, and then we went to the movies. And this AMC at Universal City Walk is take notes. High quality.
You gotta take notes.
They got the comfortable seats. The seats are like in pairs of 2, so they're really spread out. So you kind of feel like you have some privacy. And they're like big, they're comfortable. You can recline, they have a footrest. It's the best AMC. And honestly, I wouldn't want to go to any other theater after going to that one. But anyway, that's what we did, like dinner and a movie. And for me, I have like my ritual where I have to have my popcorn and my icy. I don't care if we just ate, like I have to have my popcorn and icy before watching a movie. So I had that. We watched the movie, and we just had like a beautiful view of the city. We had a beautiful time, and it was like you said, it wasn't really like a super planned thing. It was kind of just like, hey, where do you want to go tonight? Let's do this. Cool.
Kind of happened.
Yeah, and it actually became a reoccurring type of date. We would just be like, Universal movies, because we just enjoyed it so much the first time. Like, it's like dress up, go out to dinner and a movie, and that was one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I know I said take notes earlier to the fellas, but I would only take notes depending on your girl you're with. I'll tell you why. So this girl that I was trying to talk to and get her attention and all this, in high school, I think her birthday was either on or near Valentine's, like the 15th, 17th, one of those days, 13th, one of those days. I got her a whole little nice little setup for Valentine's Day. Guess what? I still got dropped off at the bus stop a couple days later. So I said, depending on what kind of girl you're talking to, take notes.
What do you mean got dropped off at the bus stop?
Okay, so you think, okay, I did all this for Valentine's Day, right? This whole little presentation with all this teddy bear, chocolates, all that type of stuff that makes you rant now. But so we ended up hanging out, I think like maybe 2 or 3 weeks later. This is the story I told you that I dropped my wallet under the seat. Right? Remember we went to we were gonna go to Louisburg. I didn't have a car at the time. I was working on it. And and she had her car, right? So we went out to the Louisburg just to go get some meat, chill, or whatever the case was. And so right up until I had my wallet and everything, order everything, right? As soon as we got to the drive-through, my wallet fell under the seat and I tried to grab it, but I like hit it with my finger and it went deep under the seat where you gotta like open the car door to get it. And so we're at the window, she's like just trying to like, she's bugging like, I said, oh, my wallet is under the seat. I'm trying to get it. And it's just deep. So I got to, like get out and like try to get it. I think she thought I was like just trying to do the dramatics or whatever. So she thought I probably tried to get one over on her.
She thought you were trying to get her to pay for it.
Yeah, get her to pay or whatever. But now my wallet was legit under the seat. And guess what? The worst thing was soon as she paid, I grabbed it.
Oh, God.
So it just looked even more terrible. Like, yeah, it was doing me no favors. So right after that, like I said, it ended up with me getting dropped off at the bus stop. I didn't even take the burger. So
man, that's
real like tough. I said before, I did the whole little setup for Valentine's Day probably 2 or 3 weeks before that. So man. I would say take notes, but like again, it depends on who you're with.
That's a real tough situation.
It was funny though when hindsight 2020.
It's real hectic.
Because I'm like, I wasn't upset because like I said, my story was solid.
Yeah, of course.
I guess I don't know. And I think she knew she gonna overreact the next couple of days because I think she said something about her. I talked to her about it. Not like on a serious thing, but I'm like, bro, you was kind of doing extra for that. You know what I mean?
I just think it was, even though you were in the right, it was kind of like, yeah, this is a dead mission. It just looked all bad. Point. Yeah. Well.
So, yeah.
So it depends on the girl.
Depends on the girl. You got to know her well.
I feel like I wouldn't trip about something like that, honestly. Like, I really don't think I would. I mean, granted, your timing was kind of bad.
Impeccable timing.
I would have been like, this is weird. But I think my first reaction would be like, oh, I'll just like cover it and whatever. And if the dude was like, oh, like I got you out, like, I mean, we didn't have Cash App back then or something, but if the guy was like, oh, I'll pay you back or something, like, I believe you. I don't know. I don't trip like that, you know?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what kind of background she came from or whatever, but
yeah, well,
it is what it is, I guess. So say all that to say, just because you get the flowers and the ice cream and the cookies and the teddy bear and the schmooby booby and all this, that doesn't guarantee good results depending on who you're with.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would definitely like to. I would be okay with celebrating it. Like, I'm not anti-Valentine's Day, but I'm also not. Like I said, I'm neutral. I don't really have those expectations. But like, if someone did want to do that for me, I would be appreciative. I'd be like, cool, thank you. Like, whatever it is, like I said, whatever it is, just have a heart of gratefulness. Right. I just think this day should not be ending relationships, and it shouldn't be like
starting them
causing that much turmoil. You know what I'm saying?
Be starting relationships, especially if you're a single dude. Woo. I just stay out the game, bro. I just sit this one out. You know, like the COVID NFL season, because so let's say you're a single man, right? Mm-hmm. And you're trying to get at a single woman. Her price is going up just for no reason. Again, it's like an overpriced stock. It's just going up because people are just overvaluing it during the time. Valentine's Day hype, like I mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. So with that, her price can be extra, extra high. Generally speaking, I know for the everybody police, yeah, some girls aren't like that, some. But generally speaking, the price is going to be a little higher. So if you was taking her to McDonald's earlier, you're going to have to take her to Wendy's.
And you know, the outdoor dining is open back up in LA County, so
oh yeah, so she's
really
on that.
about
No
to
more
be on and
Postmates.
popping.
No more Postmates. Come to the crib and Postmates. Nothing like that, right?
Dang.
Yep. So that's it. I feel like just the prices would just be inflated. Or even
Yeah.
if you're a side to somebody, like a single dude with your side to somebody, if you're trying to get in there too, her prices are also going up because you got the boyfriend taking her Red Lobster. That means you got to take her to Maestro's.
Is the side dude expected to be spending Valentine's Day?
It depends on
and paying
if you want her. If you're trying to take the position of the main.
Well, you learn something new every
Again,
day.
I wouldn't recommend that, but I'm just breaking down different scenarios and whatnot.
I'm shocked.
For the single male.
I'm shocked.
And again, if you're just in a relationship already, hey, just do what you can.
Yeah.
But I feel like you shouldn't freak out if you know her well. If you know your woman well, it's not a big deal. If you don't know her well, you can end up like me at the bus stop. So
don't end up like Black Scott at the bus stop, please.
Black at the bus stop.
We don't want that for you this year.
Going out sad. I really wasn't sad, like I said, really, because I knew in my heart the right thing.
But it's just
she thought I was broke. Fine.
It's just not a good look.
Not a good look. And I'm Black. You can't be Black and broke or Black and late. Just not a good look.
Yeah, I mean, I think this year it's way less pressure because quarantine. So you don't want to go somewhere. Look, you could always tell people it's quarantine. I'm not really trying to like risk my health. If you really don't want to go or do anything, you know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for an excuse, this is the year.
Yeah, really. I mean, honestly, now I'm thinking about it. This might be the year where we see the rate of sneaky links go up.
Uh-oh.
So they said, nah, what did Future say?
Oh, you mean like people meeting up on the low?
Yeah, just meeting up to meet up. I was saying about that verse Future said. Chicken wings and fries, we don't go on dates.
Uh-oh.
It might be looking like that. We get the little Canes, Dave's Hot, Crimson Cower, little chicken.
The takeout and dip.
Takeout and dip.
Take out, flee the spot, go back to the house.
Flee the spot. But on the way to the spot, I'm pick up some, was it Stella Artois?
Oh, Stella Artois. Is that like a beer?
I don't know.
You talking about Stella Rosa?
Stella Rosa. It's the same brand, right? I thought Stella Artois was the fancy version.
It's not.
So you can tell where I'm coming from. I'm not with the wine like that. So, hey, babe, I picked up some Stella Artois.
Like many Black women, I enjoy my Stella Rosa. It's not, I'm not, disillusioned about the fact that it's not high quality wine, but it's.
What is high quality wine?
It's just something that you can sip on.
It's not that barefoot
look important. For real. Barefoot is not high quality either.
No, that's what I said. I said barefoot is not.
I was like, it's all on the same shelf. It's not behind the cabinet,
Behind the cabinet, that's what the gold is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to, fellas, ladies, if you want to pick up some good stuff, you got to go behind the cabinet.
I did a wine tasting over the summer virtually. We need to do episode
virtually
one day.
How you do that?
Because they send you the wine in the mail, and then you are on the thing with everybody else, and the guy's showing you how to learn how to taste the wine, and you smell it, you put it at the back of your throat, and just you're trying to get the flavors out. You're trying to be like, oh, do I taste apple? Do I taste cherry? Is it bitter? Is it tart? We got to do another episode on wine tasting so we can give you guys hit y'all with some culture, Yeah, but I don't know
if I mess with I thought they'd be trying to press too many things to be online. Wine tastings, don't. Online wine, no. And then the e-dating too.
Well, it was something that was paid for ahead of time. So it's yeah. So
you paid money?
I didn't pay money. It was through a program I did. So it ended up being funded by a scholarship. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, it was a school activity, but we're all adults, so there was a wine tasting included.
Hey, we
but so it was covered by the scholarship. But with COVID and everything, they had to transition to online virtual because everything was already set in stone. So I think it was nice enough they still sent us the wine. At least you got
the actual wine in person and all that.
Right.
So I could get with that, but I'm not getting with the online dates.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay for say there's a Groupon thing or something online wine tasting. I would definitely not sign up for that. This was just a special case where it was not supposed to be like that, but then they had to transition it to virtual because of COVID stuff,
Which again, and even worst case scenario, I'd rather pay for an online wine tasting than an online date.
Yeah.
That's like having a foot with no toes. It's no point.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true.
So I'm like, you can't get the real person interaction. You got the Wi-Fi glitching her kids in the background or his kid, whatever the case may be. It's no, that's kind of hoodie.
The virtual dating thing is not really it for me either. I rather just hey, you get COVID tested, I get COVID tested.
Right, or we wait 14 days, whatever the case may be for safety.
Let's quarantine it and get tested, but I'm not about to be virtually dating. That's weird. To me. Do what you do. Do what works for you. Find love, but it won't be me. That's
right.
it.
What that was, that computer love.
Like dating is already been like taking this online turn as it is. So it's like, I understand that, but let's just not go to the extreme of virtual dates.
I think most people would agree with us because I feel like a lot of people who've been on the online dating tip at any capacity are kind of just, it's washed.
It's definitely washed.
I think everyone prefers that organic at work, school, gym, wherever, grocery store, whatever it is.
I agree. I just think the biggest thing with online dating is that it's so hard to like get out of the talking phase. Like,
bruh, especially if you're a dude, a chick will have talking phase forever.
Talk you to death.
When we finna meet, bruh, because I'm not trying to really talk like that. But yeah, the talking phase, we got to dig into that piece, man. That's major.
Yeah, we'll definitely dig into the talking phase. But I do want to say, for women, it's almost a safety thing. Like, I kind of want to talk to you and get to know you before I agree to meet in person. Like, obviously, if you're not like a creeper dude, you want to meet in person because you kind of just want to establish that, like real human connection. But since we don't know you're not a creeper dude, we rather just talk for a bit and kind of get to know you and fill you out. And then when I'm comfortable, I'll meet up with
2020, you. And then maybe next year. But I really want to ask you this. Is it a product, like this little talking phase that we talking about, is this a product of the online space? You know what I mean? It being more online, the whole dating thing?
I don't think so, because I think the talking phase was a thing, like, even back in college, when I was in college before, online dating was huge. Right. I think the talking phase was a thing because I met people in person when I was dating in college, but you exchange numbers or whatever, and it's the same thing. Like, you still end up in a talking phase. So I don't think it's a result of online dating, but I do think it's like a modern thing. Like, when I would talk to my mom and be like, "Oh, I'm talking to this person." Like, "Oh, so you guys are dating?" No.
Right. Like, I guess what is it for the not the modern audience, but the older audience, or maybe people who just foreign to the concept?
Yeah, we love you, older listeners. The talking phase is essentially a less serious form of dating. So when you think about your traditional date, you're going to go meet with the person in person. You're going to go out to dinner, something like that, have a conversation, get to know them. Even if it's like ice cream or something, you meet up in person and you have these intentions of meeting with this person in order to maybe form a relationship if things go well down the line, right? Talking is more so the step before that. So it's like a
junior date.
It's a junior date in the sense of, do I even want to go on a date with you? So since we have texting now and technology, I can talk to you over text or maybe a phone call or maybe a FaceTime, and I don't have to actually commit to meeting you in person. Like, if I'm not really feeling the vibe over the phone, then we don't have to be in person, versus if you actually go on the date with the person and then the vibe is not going well, you still have to like endure the rest of the date if you're a nice person, because you don't want to waste the person's time in the sense of like, oh, you don't want to cut the date short or something like that. So
I mean, you just ask for the dinner. Not the dinner.
Ask for the check.
Go for the dessert. No, that's cutthroat. That's if it's just garbage.
I was like, that's cold.
That's cold. Or you could do if it's be real cold, just do the bathroom and then leave out the back. Tell the waiter, pay for you pay for your thing and tell the waiter, hey, this is my little
pull them aside.
Yeah, this is my little side. I'm gonna pay for my own little thing and get out of here.
That's mad disrespectful.
If you're cutthroat, you just go for the check. Or if you want to be, very sensitive to them, you can just go ahead and just go for dinner and then go right for the dessert, just to kind of wrap it up. Hey, I got dessert going on, so you can go ahead.
Yeah.
Because they'll get the hint,
Yeah, I mean, I think I would stay because I just, like, I feel like we could still have a good time. Right. Even if maybe this isn't going to go to a second date.
Do they know that, though?
I mean, they might not know.
Oh, she's here. She loving me, or he's loving me.
But you would leave though, versus that. I think that's rude.
Look, I got dropped off at the bus.
Like, I'm not gonna.
My world is a little different. I
guess so. I mean, I wouldn't. No, I'm not I wouldn't go through with it in the sense of like, oh, I'm acting super interested and I'm giving you all these hints that I'm into you. I wouldn't do that. I would just keep it friendly, but I would still stay. Like, I wouldn't leave because I feel like you took the time out to be here. So let's see it through, you know. But I would definitely finish it. Yeah, but I would be upfront with you after and let you know, like, I really had a great time, because I genuinely, ideally would, but I just, don't think we're a good match, or however you want to say it. Right. But I would definitely see it through, But before that, I would rather just be in a talking phase with you, because then I don't even have to get to the date, or vice versa. Like, maybe you're not feeling me in the talking phase, in which case we don't ever have to go on a date,
Economical
for both parties.
For both parties. The thing about the talking phase too, it's like to me like a cancer. Like, it just spreads to everything. So, for example, the talking phase typically is before the date, but then you could still be talking after the date, and then let's say you guys get involved romantically and sexually, you could still be talking after that point too. Oh, you met the family. Oh, that's my friend. We're still talking. So it's like, okay, it looked like it's different for everybody, but what's the cutoff point? It's just like the definitions are getting more blurred lines, more gray
Yeah,
area.
it's very blurred. I think that's where, expressing what you want is important. Like at some point, whether you're in the talking phase, the dating phase, whatever, you need to address what you want. Like, are you looking for something serious? Are you looking for friends with benefits? Are you looking for just friendship? There's nothing wrong with meeting friends or whatever that way. I just think you need to let people know up front, and both parties need to be clear about that, because that's where you get into this talking phase thing where one person will be like, oh, like we're just talking. They don't want anything serious. They'll just, hang out with you here or there. Like you said, if it gets sexual, cool. But at the end of the day, they're not looking for a relationship, and you are. So then that's a problem. So I think if you discuss those things, whether it's the talking phase, dating phase, whatever, then you'll have a clear understanding, and you won't have this perpetual talking phase that our generation loves to do.
Loves to do it. And I think if we can just zoom out for a second, and because I thought we were talking about the symptoms, but not the disease. If we can go out for a second, I think it really is a consequence of having too many options. It's like we went to the donut store the other day. What was the donut store called?
I totally forgot. I want to shout them out.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout them out. They're
place.
fantastic. The lady there who was there just loved her job. Good energy. We'll have the producer put in the link. But anyway, so we were at the donut shop the other day. So I had the donut I already kind of thought I wanted, and then I had like 2 other donuts that I was kind of interested in, right? So I had this donut, and I told her to pick it out, and she just it was just left there on the shelf. And then meanwhile, while that other donut was just getting crusty and hard on the shelf, I was kind of just trying to decide between those other 2, 3 donuts I had going on. And then I saw a 4th one, and then it just took even longer for me to decide. Meanwhile, that donut that I originally thought I wanted is kind of sitting cold, crusty on the shelf. I think the reason why is I had too many choices. It was hard for me to pick. I think now these days, I feel like we have too many choices, so it's hard for us to pick. And it's not even that all the choices are quality choices. We just have choices for the sake of choices.
I think I agree with that. I think online, especially like with social media, with dating apps, it's really an endless selection. Let's be honest, because in person, like say when we think about like old school, you meet people in person if you're at school or work, whatever. But there's only a finite amount of people that you have in that setting, right? That you could date. Online is like an infinite selection if you want to really sit there and scroll through your options.
And then they're just, I would say, nameless faces in a way. Like when you like say you meet someone at work, where this Jonathan, the manager from work. So he has like a title, a name, like a face. You guys see each other, know each other to a certain degree, look each other in the eyes. With people online, I feel like it's easier to keep someone on the hook or in the talking phase, or
100%.
keep someone at bay
100%
because you don't know them or nothing like that.
And you don't have to see them in person for them to check you like, hey.
And even if you
didn't
do,
text me back.
I don't have to see you at work, at school. Like it's almost like it's a game in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think so I wouldn't say that we have too many options nowadays. I would say technology has made it to where you have more access to options, if you will.
Right.
It's not like we're having more than before, but it's because of the access has changed,
Yeah, and I think the possibility, not even like I said, not even like I actually have viable choices, but the possibility of, is there something else out there? Is there, let me check this other app. Let me check this other app. Or especially people promoting it, it makes it hard to make a choice, because before you say, okay, I got this one person, and hey, this is the best person I got, not even in a settling way, but he's a manager, has these this and that, and all this and that.
But if I have to stir the pot a little bit, I do feel like that mindset is more men than women. Not all the time, for the everybody police, not all the time. But I do think men kind of think in that like options sense more than women. And I think women, I feel like we've had to like explore options because we had to, in the sense of, well, I don't want to be focusing on one person if they're not focusing on me.
Yep. I think that too also
I'm gonna have options too, type of thing,
Yeah, because I feel like, I know you say it's a thing with men, but I feel like if men really do find a woman that's valuable, good to them, and is everything they want in a woman, and fits their looks and all that, does it for them, they'll for sure just tune in, because it's like, I have something I actually want. You can never get enough of something that you want. So it's like, once you find that, it's like, I can't even really see these other options, because I'm already like, there's something that I want to obtain, especially as a man being a hunter, the go-getter type. You want to just get that. So what?
Nothing.
All
that
right.
Mentality, but I guess that's a conversation for another day.
Yep. And hopefully you guys don't get left at the bus stop. Again, this has been Black Scott.
This is Love Jade.
And we're wrapping it up. He said, she said.
Peace out, y'all.